and welcome to the Czech community meeting. Today is the 20th of September, and as usual, we'll start with this section. So, Chair 7.36.1 in the progress. Mihailo, could you please comment which is the status of this release?
Yeah, so basically it's kind of complete as far as operators, community operators, HSTL go. The only thing that's part of it is fixes for docs and plugin registry release process. So as soon as those close, I guess it can be considered close.
Okay, thank you. And as usual, you can check status in Eclipse share releases channel in Mattermost. So let's go to the topics. And today we have few. The first one is from Floran about VS Code as an editor for Che. Floran, could you start, please?
Yes, so you should be able to see my screen now. So today I will present you a new editor that we can use as a POC with Eclipse Che. So here I have a sample. It's just a basic repository. I have a dev file. This dev file is a dev file 2. So just an Alpine image that do nothing, and another container which is a MongoDB container. Basically do nothing, and I have some unformatted file here. It will be for my demo. And the difference, I have VS Code with some settings for VS Code, like some 2 extensions here that are recommended. And I'm using a new way of defining the editor with the file 2. So I have a file called che-editor.yaml where I can define the editor that I want to use. So here it means that I will be able to override the default editor that is usually che-editor. So now I am using Che instance, and in this Che instance I have set up the dev workspace mode. This is why we only see these 2 samples. And here I will provide the path to my GitHub project. So the idea is that it will load my dev file, see that we have some custom editor, and load that editor. So we can see that the dev file has been found. Waiting. And now my workspace has started, and I'm inside the VS Code editor. So this VS Code editor is the remote editor. So inside the workspace, I have my VS Code server running, and I'm connecting from my client here. So this is a POC, so this is not yet complete. So from the file, with dev workspace, the project is automatically cloned, but I need to manually open my projects in the projects folder. But now the difference with Che server workspaces is that dev workspace operator is cloning the project. So the editor doesn't need to take care of cloning. And now I'm inside the VS Code editor, so we can see that I have my files, so the files that I before. We have the extension, and I can see as well the recommended extensions that were part of my workspace. Here I'm using the machine exec component. So I'm able to connect to my terminal, but also to all the other containers. So I can access to other containers that have MongoDB, for example. But if I open my default terminal, I'm connected to tools. And yeah, I'm using a machine exec component, but it's managing all the classical terminal stuff. So nothing fancy. Yeah, I'm inside my workspace and I can do any VS Code stuff. So I can install, for example, feature weekends. Now we can see that is the extension and I can use different. If you now, if you're using VS Code, you can do pretty much the same stuff as in VS Code. Yes, that's basically all for the demo.
Does anyone have any questions? Actually, I have one question. I saw the list of extensions. This list comes from which registry? Is it Che?
Okay. So
Plugin
for
registry?
now, it is not plugged to the Che plugin registry, and it is using the OpenVS6 marketplace because we cannot use the official VS Code marketplace. So under the hood, it is using OpenVS6, which is the Eclipse registry for VS Code extension. So yeah, one idea is should be to use as well the plugin registry and to offline mode and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you for the great demo.
Perfect, thanks. And yeah, one stuff is that it is possible as well to use VS Code editor as well on top of the Dev Sandbox as well. So I was able to use that editor with Che server and using basic Che server workspace. The main difference is that the project will not be cloned. I will be able to share the files to try on your own.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Would it be possible to, because now I see that you have to install manually the recommended extensions. Would it be possible to have that automated? Like
yeah, it can be automated as well, like we are doing that Petya and Dev Workspace. And basically, usually we have a pop-up that is displayed when we start the workspace. Do you want to install the recommended extension? And we can say yes as well. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we are not seeing that because I already hit that button, so it's not displaying every time.
but I guess maybe some use case would be to have that in a disconnected mode. So we would have to have the extension already downloaded somehow. Or
So yeah, when we are in discontinued mode, we are using the offline mode of the plugin registry. And in that mode, all the VS6 files are stored inside the plugin registry. So we don't need to fetch the VS6 files from the outside.
would we still have the way to reference? Because now I see that the editor is in the project files, but what if we don't want to do that?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It was to use the new stuff of the workspaces, but I should move the definition of this editor to the plugin registry. So anyone could use the editor that is provided by the plugin registry. I don't know.
So, but would that be would that be similar to what we have today? So in the dev
yes.
file, referencing the idea. Okay.
It would be similar when you open a workspace, be able to select the editor that you want. Okay. Yeah, it's running inside dev sandbox. The same flow, except that the project is not automatically cloned. Because with the file v1, it's the responsibility of the editor to clone the project. While with dev workspaces, it's managed by the dev workspace environment.
Cool, thank you, Paul. And so what is the next step with this editor?
The next step would be to create issue, create epics, and to move out the definition of the editor to chink better and add an entry to the plugin registry so that it would be possible to start a workspace using that editor, as we did for Jupyter Notebook, Eclipse IDE, IntelliJ.
Cool. Thank you again. And maybe some questions for Quran. Okay, in that way, let's go to another topic. It's about changing time for the Czech community call, and it's just to remind, since we didn't get some strong objections to move the Czech community call 30 minutes later, so we will start doing that from the next Monday. Okay, and we also have one topic from new and noteworthy section. It's about dashboard backend API and for the workspace from Srihi. Could you present it, please? We can hear you if you hear.
Sajid is not here.
Okay, so probably we will move this topic to the next Czech community call.
Well, the notes there just says no demo, just noteworthy. So it's just for reference.
Yeah,
to
just
click on the link.
Yep. Okay, in that way, anything else to discuss today? So if no, thank you everyone for attending, and thank you, Florian, for taking notes, and see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.